sort of a Dutch government-run child slavery program, to put it bluntly. And you were in fact involved and were a victim of this program, were you not?
Yeah, I was just telling my personal story, what actually happened. Let's say 15 years ago, and that was in Holland. And I had a very bad feeling. It was such a bad place, and I was right. But if you ask people, in Holland, all of them are saying it is bad, it is bad. So that was one of the reasons. I was 12 years old. I was really scared. Um, the reason why I had to go there is a different story, but um, but it was like a jail.
So they what did they take you off your parents and then just put you in these kind of prison-like facilities?
Yeah, the way how it works is the guardian. So if the parents are in trouble, it can be for any reason. It doesn't matter what. A guardian will look after the parents. The guardian will make a report. And the way how it works in Holland, it is impossible to appeal. So if he makes a decision or tells something about you, it is impossible to appeal. If a child get arrested by the police and the child is like under 18, the police will send the child to the children court judge. And again, it is impossible to appeal, and that's one of the main issues. So the problem was I was taken away from my parents, and they moved me somewhere out. It was like 60 miles away where I lived. And the thing was, I couldn't see my parents anymore, and they said nothing, about that. But that's the thing. It doesn't matter if your parents are good or bad or whatever. Every child has the right to see the parents, and that's one of the main issues. So what's actually happening if a child has to go to a child house in the Netherlands, it's like a jail, and so you have to follow a program, and they they do everything to keep the child away from the parents. It
Now,
sounds ridiculous. Yeah.
oh no, it seems very similar to what's been happening in the rest of the world as well. And so
Yep.
you were just inside this facility. They didn't take you out anywhere or do anything. You were just locked down.
Yeah. I was 20 years ago. I was on a big congress in France, and I was telling about the rights of the child. It was a big meeting. All the children from Europe had to tell the way, the rights of the child, let's say in Portugal, in Spain, Holland, and Germany. But finally, it didn't work out. It was a big show, but it didn't work out. But the way how it works in Holland is a lot of people think that Holland is a country with high standards, but the thing is, it also has a dark side. The only thing what I can say with my experiences, and I'm 37 at the moment. It took me around 10 years to recover myself. When I left that house, that institute, I was completely lost. Most of them, and we all know that, they start to drink or using drugs or getting any other addiction. But I said to myself, if I start to do that, I will end up and I will die, and I don't want that. So to fight back, it took me around, let's say, 10 years. And that was also one of the reasons why I made the decision to go to Ireland. And Ireland was like 12 years ago. It was a great country. It's still a great country, but I was like far away from everything. And now I can start over again. I can do what I want, and I can build on my future. And
Yeah.
that's my trauma. The thing is, if I go to Holland, it sounds crazy. It's like that's the thing, you know. It's my country. I'm Dutch, but if I go there, it's like you know,
It's like
it's
returning to the scene of a crime.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And the other thing, what I've seen in all those years, because I've been there for 7 years, is a lot of abusement. So the team leaders, they were sexual harassing the child. So it was so unsafe to stay there. The thing is, the child judge, tells the parent, oh, the child can't live anymore at home, they move the child to a child house. But the thing is, there is no fix. They don't fix the problem. They destroy the child. And that's the thing. So the first thing what they do is the children are not allowed to see the parents for a while. In my case, it took a half year. And then it was every time they were asking me things, and they were in one way they were treating me as an adult. So it was always like it felt that I was on a police station, and in another way they were treating me as someone who's not intelligent, you know. So it is, if I think about that, they were brainwashing me all the time. So when I was 19, that was the day when I could leave that place. I was completely, it was so scary because I wasn't even prepared on the real world. Everything I was living in a big city, but I was so, you know, because I was not used to things. If I was allowed to go to school, but after school I had to go straight home. So for everything I had to ask for permission.
Sounds very much similar to the Shawshank Redemption being institutionalized and wanting to ask permission for everything.
Yeah. I was like, you know, when I was like 15, 16, 17 years old, you know, I was a teenager. I wasn't even allowed to go to the disco, to go to a pub, or, you know. So all those years are gone. So my real life started when I was 26. So after when I left that place, I started to study. But at that moment, you know, they were always keep telling me, you're not intelligent, not intelligent enough. We are the decision makers. Things like that all the time. No one of you know, the thing is, the first thing what they do is to take your confidence. That's the first thing. They don't like to see kids who are confident. So when I was starting to study, I was always scared, you know. It took years to recover myself. So after my study, I was like, I have to go to a different place and do it my way. And that's the thing. I have two younger brothers, and I was living with them, but their life is destroyed. They don't want to live in the real world. So the only thing what they do is they live with their mother now for the last 20 years. You know, they difficulties to interact with people. That's the thing. They took everything from me. And, you know, when I left that place, I said to myself, I want to be a person like others, you know. So I was working on that all the time. So I'm a likable person, but I had no confidence at all. And that was the learning process was starting when I was 26, and now I'm 37. And I'm doing very well. I have a career. I've studied. I'm not saying that I'm an Einstein or professor, but I'm intelligent. But they were always telling that I'm not. That I wasn't at all. So they were doing everything to pull me down. So, and I always ask them the question, what do you want? And I will end up as a drug dealer or end up as an alcoholic. They didn't care at all.